Or when the little Zoom thing says admit, like Marcus is waiting, admit. I always want to. I think to myself, the first step in recognizing that you have a Marcus is, or no, what is it? The first step in solving a Marcus is admitting that you have a Marcus. I don't know. I just ruined my own joke. I'll work on it for next week. Right. I promise.
And that's part of having a Jason.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. How's your day?
My day's been pretty good. Pretty low key.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird weather today. Sort of might have rained. It was strangely warm, and yet kind of looked cold. If you didn't know it was warm outside and you looked outside, it looked kind of cold outside because of the cloudiness and stuff like that. Now I did clear it up later on in the day, but like if you walked out and got hit with like warm air, it would have been a little jarring.
See, I said that earlier when I was doing my live thing. I said,
"Oh, did you?"
Well, if you were there, you'd know. But I do these live shows on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. But I mentioned I was melting at one point. I felt like I was melting, and I think people were mocking me. People who were being snowed upon were mocking me.
Well, see, that's not our fault. It's not like we sent the snow up there. You're melting regardless of what other people are experiencing.
I know that, and you know that, but I mean, does anybody else know that? I don't know.
They're the ones that chose to live in Minneapolis or whatever.
Right? We've been through that, right? We've talked about the whole choosing where you live thing. Have we talked
I think
about
we
that?
have, yeah. Okay.
Well, we won't.
And we were correct. If I remember right, we were right on that.
I mean, that goes without saying. What's our rule? Is our rule like how many episodes do we have to go before we can start
revisit a topic?
Yeah, because I feel like I've been itching to revisit topics like since episode 8. And
that's true. And I think that it's kind of like ordering a new trial. Like if there's enough new evidence to warrant that, then it's a go.
Okay. What do I mean? People do updates to books.
That's true. Yeah, second edition or whatever.
Musicians will remaster albums.
Yeah.
Right.
Or even just re-record like from scratch their stuff.
Or re-record
like
from scratch.
Needs a new take.
Yes. People will do
accidentally derivative, a new take. We're already there.
Just in case you were
So
wondering.
I understand there's a big hole in your yard.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Speaking of that, how's your decaying air conditioner repairman situation?
I think he's done.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I think he's done.
That didn't take as long as I thought.
I got like a gnat in my eye or something. I think he's done decaying. I'm not looking.
That's good.
I'm not going to go
checking.
No,
nor should you.
You know what they say about let sleeping dogs lie or something.
Decaying HVAC technicians lie.
I mean, no one's reported anyone missing related to the project that we had. Just in case someone is joining us for the first time, we don't know of any existing. We can neither confirm nor deny the existence of a decaying being somewhere in my area above my front door.
It may or may not have at one point had a name and hopes and dreams
and a face. That's terrible. But it doesn't smell anymore. Michelle asked. She was nervously. I was watching Michelle talk about meta. I'm like watching Michelle watch us. Ooh. From last week's episode.
Yeah.
And do you? I don't know if you remember, but do you remember I said there's no chance. There's no chance she'll get to this part of the episode. There's no way she'll listen this far in, and I'm like nervously waiting for her to get to that
Hoping
point.
That she'll lose interest before then.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, you want to, I'm coming up with things that maybe we should do, like I never want to do, like that she wants to do, just to get her all like, maybe. And she brought up, does it still smell? And I had forgotten because it doesn't smell anymore.
We'll see that's good.
I mean, when something smells rotten and you don't find the source of the rottenness and it just stops, I don't think it's because the rotten thing moved on.
No, not usually.
I think it's because the bacteria moved on.
Right. They ran out of juice or food or whatever.
Right? Yeah.
And said, let's find something else.
Yeah.
Or like a crazy, like some kind of a raccoon or something like that.
Dragged it away.
Said like, ooh, this is nice. I'll take it home.
A raccoon with a store in a tree, maybe.
Could be.
Did you start playing that game?
I have not. I'm scared
Sasquatch?
of that
game. What's wrong with you? How can I even have a conversation with you? I don't want to get sucked into the
world of the Sasquatch. I'm worried about the ducks. I don't know that I'll have enough ducks.
You have a long, driverless drive coming up, don't you?
That's true. Yes,
so
I do. Maybe that's the perfect opportunity.
I think that's the time.
Going home for the holidays.
You hop in your carriage.
And Sasquatch.
What else are you to do but to play Sneaky Sasquatch?
Clearly, I need to become a Sasquatch and become the CEO of a company, and then.
I mean, look, let's not jump right to the top. You've got to work your way in that direction.
No.
First, you got to save the campground. We're not. If you're interested, I dare you to go back and listen to episode 22.
22, yeah.
22.
No, 23.
Was it? It wasn't last week.
I think it was.
Wow, that was a long time ago. Was that, maybe it was. Oh, yeah, you're right. No, I don't know. Wait, no. Last week we talked about the campground and stuff. Was that when we talked? I can't. Could you make me a flow chart?
I clearly it's become necessary.
Some liner notes.
We need a wiki.
That's what we need. I'll get right on that, Rose.
Fandom wiki. We don't have fans.
I was going to say that's the first part of a wiki.
That is why we need Eddie Van Halen.
You heard about Eddie Van Halen, right?
Yeah, that's a shame.
Okay. Yeah.
We can't do the Bill and Ted thing anymore.
No.
That is why we need Alex Van Halen.
Just doesn't,
I think
doesn't
nobody
have the
has
same
ever
ring.
said that.
Yeah. Wait, is that his son or is that the drummer?
That's his brother.
Okay. So I also think that you're going to be, or I understand you're going to be listening to Christmas music on the way to your family or wherever you're going.
Probably.
Yeah. Any particular songs that you maybe?
Oh, yes, indeed. Okay, yes. So.
I mean.
Yes.
I'm trying to be subtle.
and yeah, I apologize for being a little boneheaded on that one. But you're referring to the pin that I sent you.
You sent me a pin. I get so excited when you send me a pin. I get so excited. Because I mean, I don't even know the story yet, so maybe I shouldn't prejudge it. But I get excited whenever there's a possible, like, just a chance that you may have some.
Right. You aren't the sole source of neuroses in this.
You said it. Yes.
Yes. And anybody that has known me for a long time has probably heard this rant before, but I thought I might codify it in podcast form. And that is, and it, as it does every Christmas season, it reared its ugly head at me while we were at Disney Springs last night, I guess it was. And because there's constant Christmas cheer flying around out there. And then this one inevitably comes up, and it's the song "The Most Wonderful Time of the Year."
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah. And for the most part, I don't have a problem with the song until we get to the lyric, "There will be scary ghost stories." That is not a Christmas thing. That's not remotely a Christmas thing. I know. Everybody says, what about the Christmas Carol that's got ghosts in it? Okay, I'll grant you that. But number one, I wouldn't call that a ghost story. And number two, in the song, it's clearly plural. So what's another one?
Okay. So
I mean, Muppet Christmas Carol, I guess.
Well, let's unpack this a little bit. So this is a song written by Andy Williams.
Okay.
I assume it's written by Andy Williams, right? I mean,
you've done some research. Did some homework.
Well, he's Andy Williams. That's like the classic version of.
That's true.
Right? And I assume it's the original. I don't know whether it's the original or not.
The lyric is in all the versions.
Well, I know. I'm just trying to unpack this so I can know.
Like from his perspective, if he wrote it,
we got to get into his head. Thinking? We got to get into Andy's head.
This is not something you usually have to do with a Christmas Carol, though.
But shouldn't you
figure out where they're coming from when they're saying "Sleigh bells ring"? Are you listening?
I feel I know, but like why?
And
like,
in what way?
You listen to get out of the way so you don't get run over, right?
That's true.
So I think he's given us a gift here. Now I haven't done any advanced research.
Oh, okay.
But I do have the entire internet at my fingertips.
The sum of human knowledge, apparently. A whole bunch of stuff that's not knowledge.
Stuff that somebody was willing to type in somewhere. And it is. It's okay. So popular Christmas song written in triple time. Isn't triple time? Isn't that a waltz? Like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Well, that's 3/4, but I don't know that that's triple time.
Wait, 3/4 is a waltz. Wait, what do you mean 3/4 is?
It's definitely in 3/4.
Okay,
but
well,
I don't know if that's
time.
like.
I don't know.
Triple time means like maybe 9.
Triple time means something different depending on what you're talking about.
9/16.
In 1963, by Edward Pola and George Weil. It's either Weil or Wiley.
Wiley George Weil.
Mm-hmm. So it was recorded and released that year by pop singer Andy Williams. So I feel like we have to. I'm sorry, Mr. Williams, but we're going to set you aside because you just sang words. Although we need to know whether. I think we can set him aside. And focus on Edward Pola and George Weil. I also think it's worth exploring whether the song, does it have any other inconsistent or like phrases, turns of speech that you find problematic?
Not that stand out to me. And maybe it's just because my mind goes blind with rage as soon as that.
I can imagine
that lyric hits me, and I'm not able to think of the rest of the lyrics.
Mm-hmm. With the kids jingle belling.
Yeah.
Is that like singing or like actually shaking jingle bells?
Maybe I don't know. That's a good question, but I guess I've always sort of pictured them shaking the jingle bells.
And everyone telling you be of good cheer.
Yeah, people are pretty overbearing.
Happiest season of all. Holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. They clearly haven't talked to me because I'm like, dude, if you were my friend, you would have like texted me before you came over.
Right. And we can also get into, speaking of friends coming over and being jerks, we can get into we wish you a Merry Christmas and the we won't leave until we get some part.
I always thought that meant something else.
Well, either way, it's problematic.
I thought that was like the corollary to, hey, baby, it's cold outside.
Give me some of that figgy pudding.
Can't believe you would laugh at that. All right, so let's the parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. Okay, fine.
Okay,
check all the
real
boxes.
quick, parties for what now?
There will be parties for hosting.
For hosting, okay.
Yeah.
I have to admit that's one that I've never really zeroed in on before.
Oh, sure, because you're blind with rage over the next.
Right, exactly. And it's always kind of sounded like parties for toasting, marshmallows for roasting, like toast.
There'll be parties for
Christmas.
hosting, marshmallows for toasting.
Toasting, see,
and
that's another thing. I
snow.
don't like the word toast for what you do to marshmallows over a fire. I like it. I like roast. I think that's a much better. You're roasting the marshmallow. You're not.
No, of course you're toasting the marshmallow. You're caramelizing the outer bit of the. If you're roasting it, you're like catching it on fire practically.
Well, that's what everybody does.
No, you don't. If you do it properly.
Well, I understand that, but
you roast chestnuts.
There's what should be, and there's what is.
You roast
chipmunks.
No,
chestnuts.
You roast chestnuts, and you roast a pork, but you don't.
You roast a marshmallow. Marshmallow roasting.
Toast a marshmallow. gotta be
You
lost your
toast
mind.
other people with
Oh my goodness.
wassail. Here we come a wassailing.
There'll be scary. That's a weird word, right? Like that compound.
There'll. Yeah.
There'll. Like Daryl. No, not
contraction.
Daryl. There'll be scary ghost stories.
I'm Daryl. How are you? Daryl Crowder. This is Bubba, my wife.
It just rolls off the tongue a little too easily for you.
Well, it's my family, you know.
There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long ago.
And that one, you know, unless we're talking about the original Christmas, which I assume that's what he's talking about, I haven't heard much about other Christmases. Like, boy, let me tell you, this Christmas in 1346, that was a hell of a Christmas. It was glorious. There was Bob, and he did really amazing things. That was a really good Christmas.
Maybe this was like
So
foreshadowing.
let me tell you this ghost story.
Maybe this was a foreshadowing of the Star Wars holiday special.
we watched that in full the other night.
With the original?
It's interminable. I forgot how long that thing is. It's an hour and a half long.
Which
it didn't have commercials in it.
It
was an hour and a half.
It did originally.
It did. Yeah. So it was like 2 hours of Christmas.
But I wish the commercials were kept in the recording. Like,
I do too.
I so wish that you could still see there
was like one at the very beginning, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna have all the commercials in it," and it didn't. They cut out all the commercials.
Listen, if you're DVRing shows right now in some way that you're looking to upload them to YouTube at some point in the future or whatever, if you have old VHS tapes at home, or your parents do, you uncover them and you look to upload them to YouTube, don't take time.
Don't cut the commercials out, man.
Don't cut out the commercials. They're the best part.
They're almost better than the thing. Yeah.
Well, certainly when you're talking about the Star Wars holiday special.
Wow, man.
What was the nadir for you?
Man, I don't know. I saw it when it first came out because I was Star Wars nuts back then. Yeah. Now,
I loved it when I was a kid.
And the fact that Chewbacca's father's name is Itchy and his son's name is Lumpy.
I think those are translations.
I guess so. Like, Chewbacca, I guess, is like it's a stringy or something.
I think.
But I don't know. It's almost, when somebody says, "What's your favorite movie?" I was like, well, yeah, you got to give me a genre, because Birdcage is my favorite comedy.
Really?
Lord of the Rings is my favorite.
Birdcage is your favorite comedy?
I love that movie so much.
I never saw that coming in a million years.
Comedy. It is perfect. It is so freaking hilarious.
Wow.
But my point is like, in what genre are we talking about? What was the weirdest, most appalling, or I don't know, disquieting aspect of the Star Wars holiday special? I think physically, it's the amount of makeup they put on Mark Hamill.
Oh, well.
When they and he's only on the screen for like,
and his blonde hair, he's like
maybe 20 minutes or 20 seconds.
Hair.
Yeah, and they like zoom in, and he's doing this like slapstick thing with a droid, but he comes up, and I swear he looks like I don't know, like Suzanne Summers or something. The guy has got some makeup on.
Was this
and
before?
That's cool.
Was this around the time of his accident, or was it before that?
That's what I was wondering, because that's what everybody says about all the scars on his face in Empire, which is not actually the case, because that was a long time after his car accident. Yeah. He was fine after that, or going into that. But this may have been part of that. But when you look kind of close, I mean, it's all around his eyes. And he just looks like it. You could easily be convinced that that's not actually Mark Hamill, which maybe it's not. Maybe it's Paul McCartney. Maybe he's dead. But that was the weirdest.
You think it's Paul McCartney?
No, but the the whole McCartney's dead. This is a new guy. It's not him. Maybe like he died in that car accident.
I never heard that.
And Mark Hamill. You've never heard the Paul is dead thing?
I mean, I've heard the Paul is like I've heard but I've never heard that anyone actually like float that as a actual
of all people that
conspiracy
would not have
theory.
heard of that. That shocks me. But but yeah, that was wacky. I don't know what happened there. The fact that Art Carney is like the star of this thing is also a little. Not that I don't like Art Carney; he's awesome.
He's dead too.
But this is Star Wars. Yeah, he is very much dead, as is Ralph Cramden. Yeah, like you know what I thought, what I was pleasantly surprised by is how committed, serious, and professional Harrison Ford is in this show. I mean, he commits to that character. I mean, because the Hunts, like every character, like Carrie Fisher sings at one point. I don't think that's something Princess Leia would actually do.
Oh,
but
it's like Snow White.
But is it? It's Snow White leading a rebellion.
They had to cut something
them.
out, and she would break out into song sometimes.
That's true. And then the animated birds would come and help her get into her little buns on her head. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
How else do you think that happens? You've seen Cinderella?
Yes. Protocol droids can't do that. No. Yeah, it's got to be animated birds.
It's like the equivalent. Well, they're probably robotic. I don't know. Anyway, getting back to the subject.
It's the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, and I highly recommend anybody watching it. I do. Like,
because
definitely watch that.
You hate our listeners.
Exactly. It's the same reason that I recommend that everybody watch Battlefield Earth, because it's important that you see the worst movie that has ever been made. Ever. And I know I'm on a list now. I know the Scientologists hate me now, but it's true. You shouldn't have made it if you didn't want it to be as bad as it was.
So,
all I'm saying.
According to Wikipedia, among the activities included in the song is the telling of, quote, scary ghost stories, end quote.
Oh, we're back on that now. Okay, I was like, I'm waiting for some factoids about the holiday special. Okay.
A Victorian Christmas tradition that has mostly fallen into disuse, but survives in the seasonal popularity of numerous adaptations of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. So let's dig into that a little bit. There's 2 footnotes for that factoid.
Yes.
The first footnote
Horse Crap Weekly
is from an article entitled "Telling Ghost Stories is a Lost Tradition on Christmas Eve," from December 23rd, 2010. And you better bet I am clicking on this, and it is featured in the Deseret News, which is
the what?
The Deseret News.
Well, the Deseret News says it,
which I believe
you can bank on it.
Is that Utah? Is that
Deseret, Utah?
Is there a Deseret, Utah? It looks like it's.
I don't know.
Yeah, because there's also Church News up there.
So we're relying on the Mormons for this.
This is but one of the footnotes.
It's 50% of the footnote.
I'm sorry. So it says here that whenever 5 or 6 English-speaking people meet around a fire on Christmas Eve, they start telling each other ghost stories, wrote British humorist Jerome. First of all, his name's Jerome Jerome. As part of his introduction to an anthology of Christmas ghost stories titled "Told After Supper" in 1891. All right.
Now, he wrote it in 1891, or these are stories from 1891?
Hold on.
I mean, it could be both.
I'm writing this down. Told After Supper. Because you bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow I'm going to be looking at this book.
Got a Kindle version of that book.
And we're going to be reading from it. Nothing satisfies us on Christmas Eve.
There on the sleigh was a hook.
Nothing, this is in quotes, nothing satisfies us on Christmas Eve but to hear each other tell authentic anecdotes about specters, end quote.
Nothing. Not a single thing.
Nothing satisfies, not even nothing satisfies us more than, no, nothing satisfies us on Christmas but to hear.
Nothing.
So there's no
we are
satisfaction.
devoid of satisfaction.
Correct.
We can't get no satisfaction.
Yes,
Even though we try.
Mr. Jagger,
and we try.
as Mr.
That's what he was talking about.
Yes.
Like nobody will tell me a story of a specter, which is apparently even more specific than a ghost story.
So then they mentioned the verse of Andy Williams' classic Christmas song. Although, as we know, it's not Andy Williams' classic Christmas song. It's actually those other two dudes.
And that's a little circular reasoning. That's arguably why they put that in the song.
They
Even
put it in
though
the
I
song
contest
because
that.
of
you
the
can say,
reference
well,
to
obviously they do because look at this song. But the song did that because
no. I mean, he's saying that it's there are some tells that this used to happen in popular culture. This is one of those. This one of those.
They're blaming
tells.
the song on that.
What's circular is that the article that is cited in the discussion of this topic in Wikipedia is referencing the song that the Wikipedia article's about. Like that, they didn't go very far down the route in terms of finding some original source for the reference, is what I'm saying.
Right. Wikipedia is the home of the C+ term paper.
Some argue that Dickens' Christmas ghost story single-handedly saved the winter holiday from dying out during the Industrial Revolution, blah, 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 blah.
Really? That's something I'd like to.
I know, but there's no footnote in a newspaper article.
Citation needed. The Industrial Revolution was the original war on Christmas. It wasn't Starbucks' cups.
There you go. And isn't there something inherently unseasonal about ghosts? This author asks.
Yes.
Don't ghosts belong with all the ghouls and goblins of Halloween?
One would think.
Not so for Victorian England. There must be something ghostly in the air of Christmas. Something about that. I like this. It's all falling back to this Jerome person. So we're gonna have to follow up about that.
So this one guy said, "Hey, you're not gonna find satisfaction unless somebody tells you a ghost story, and it's Christmas."
Then they get into the whole conversation about the date selection. I don't know where this is going, but why is Christmas in December at all? And they're linking to the pagan holidays, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, there's a whole
festivals
thing.
Of death and light and yada, yada, yada. I'm still not convinced about the whole, okay, here we go. So then they go back to Dickens thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get Dickens. But
okay, hold on. In addition to being the longest night of the year, however, winter solstice was also traditionally held. I know it's not technically, I know it's not actually on the solstice, but anyway. Winter solstice was also traditionally held to be the most haunted due to its association with the death of the sun and the light. It was the one night of the year when the barrier between the worlds of the living and the deceased was thinnest. Oh. Let that sit with you for a moment. On Christmas Eve, ghosts could walk the earth and finish unsettled business, as exemplified by the apparition of Marley in Charles Dickens' Christmas masterpiece. Oh.
Okay, but I still point out that that's a data set of one.
No. Well, no.
Okay, Christmas Carol.
But they're
is,
they keep referring back to that's our surviving
one other
Christmas
Carol or story, Like Bob was having a great Christmas, and then suddenly a ghost showed up, or whatever. Then I would say, okay, maybe it's a little ghosty, but we got the one, and that's all we got. And I refuse to believe that the two guys that Andy Williams stole his song from
knew this.
Yeah, it did any kind of research into Victorian Christmas traditions, because none of the rest of it is in there. Ain't nobody running around in Victorian Christmas jingle belling or toasting / roasting marshmallows. Why is that one the Victorian representative of this song?
I don't know, but I mean the only other citation for that particular sentence in the Wikipedia article is the book written by I can't even remember the
none other than
none I can't say it though.
That's weird.
None other than Jerome.
Jerome.
Which now in parentheses it says, his middle name is Klopka Or no, maybe
Oh,
no. It's
how is
Jeremy.
your name Jeremy Jerome and your middle name is Klopka? What is
Jerome K Jerome. Told after supper. How the stories came to be told. Teddy Biffle's story. Johnson and Emily, or
Teddy
the Faithful
Biffle.
Ghost interlude. This is all the different art. Different.
Are these all stories from Jeremy Jerome, Klopka Jerome?
Yeah. 18.
I'm not convinced that Jeremy Jerome isn't on the unreliable source list. I'm just saying. Because he's apparently the only one talking about ghosts in Victorian times, and everybody's pointing at him and going, see? Ghosts in Victorian times.
You think that he
just made
started
that
the
up.
whole thing?
Yeah.
Like as a way to like, well, look, this is why I tell ghost stories at.
Then somebody's going to make a song about it, and it's going to freak people out. And they'll think that
He was a
the
comedian.
real Halloween.
He was a comedian. He
Well, of course he was.
He was an English writer and humorist, best known for the comic travelogue Three Men in a Boat.
Now that I want to read.
It all goes back to Three Men in a Boat. Is that like the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker?
Could be. Jeremy Jerome may have started that.
Oh my God, you're gonna love this guy. Other works include the essay collections "Idle Thoughts of an Idle Fellow,"
Okay.
"Second Thoughts of an Idle Fellow," "Three Men on the Bummel." I don't know what a bummel is. Do you know what a bummel is?
I am sure it's body.
Bummel. Bummel. A sequel, which was a sequel to Three Men in a Boat and several other novels.
3 Men in a Little Bummel.
Lazy Thoughts of a Lazy Girl. That was written by under a pseudonym. Oh my
him in a wig.
gosh. Okay. So I'm not seeing any reference though in this article to that other book that they say he wrote. So this is interesting, right?
And that one was called
Yeah. That one was called
Ghosts All Up in Your Wreath or whatever it is.
Hold on, hold on. It was called Told After Supper.
Told After Supper, yeah.
And so he had an acting career.
Of course he did.
This is I feel like you have really stumbled across something here. That would make for a fantastic research paper, like undergraduate research paper. Like this would be fascinating. Like the epitomology of Andy Williams' classic song. I mean, just taking that one line.
Yeah. Well, I don't like the line, so somebody else can write the paper.
Well, wouldn't you like to? I mean, that's why.
But I do want to know more about Jeremy Klopka Jerome, though. He does seem like a fun guy.
I don't know. Oh, I think I just mangled that other
like
word.
The Dave Barry of what is it? 18.
I think I mean the whole I said epistemology of word phrases out of that's a really interesting thing. Like how did this word or phrase become what it is, and how did it find its way into our lexicon and popular culture and so forth?
I think 85 of them come from sailing. 85%.
And crisscross, he made up.
And crisscross.
Yeah, he made up half of
The
those.
juvenile rap group from
No,
the
not. Oh, Christopher Cross. No, crisscross.
Crisscross will make you jump.
Oh my God. Because I'm not seeing any reference to that particular book. Suppers.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I think all of it's made up. Nobody ever told a ghost story on Christmas.
I mean, it's in the Project Gutenberg website. Maybe it's a different Jeremy K Jerome. That can't possibly be.
Jeremy K Jerome. What's your name? Jeremy. Full name? Jeremy K Jerome.
All right, I'm just searching up the whole thing. Jeremy K Jerome stories we tell.
That is my new rap name.
And let's see what we find here. Jeremy, yes. Told After Supper. Oh, Amazon Books.
Well, heck.
Sure, I'm sure Jeremy still has an affiliate link. I wonder if this is a different Jeremy.
He gets a farthing for every.
No, he still was an English humorist, best known for travel, blah, 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 blah. It's like there's banging. I think the ghosts have like come to visit me.
Is that on your end? I was worried it was on my end.
Well, I don't know. There could be spirits.
They're like, nope, totally a Christmas thing. Hey, knock, knock, knock.
I think that's the same guy. I'm pretty sure it's. I'm pretty sure it's the same
not
guy.
A different Jeremy K Jeremy.
Yeah, Told After Supper. I'm definitely. It's like $8.95. It usually ships within 2 to 4 weeks. I feel like somebody's going to actually write this when I place the order.
Rats! Somebody actually ordered this. Damn it.
So I mean, I think it's you. You're not wrong to be frustrated with.
Just don't get it. And I don't think Andy Williams had any idea who Jeremy K Jeremy was.
Well, that's the thing. Like, okay, wouldn't you if you were Andy Williams and you were handed that to sing, wouldn't you look it over first and say, guys, like, what does this even mean?
Right. Like, well, you'd think, but I guess it depends on how much money they were giving.
People are gonna think I'm like weird if I talk about telling ghost stories during Christmas.
Scary ghost story, and they're scary. That's not like endearing ghost stories. Like I don't even know that I would say that Christmas Carol is exactly scary. I mean, it's bleak in places.
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna find out what this banging is. So
somebody's hanging pictures.
You like talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna go kill somebody. Stick them in the attic, and then I'll be right back.
All right.
How about that?
Okay. Okay, so now that he's gone, I have to say that I stumbled across something the other day, and I think I'm onto something interesting here. And that is that if you listen to Carl Sagan and his voice, does it seem like he's a lower register version of Kermit the Frog? I mean, if you think about it, you hear him and like just watch him and you can hear him say like, "It's not easy being green. Having to spend each day the color of the leaves. When I think it might be nicer being orange or red or gold or something much more colorful like that."
I
think I'm onto something.
Yeah?
Hi. Did you find out if...
Oh, yeah. The problem is resolved.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Did you fix all the world's problems here?
I did. Well, I addressed the similarities between the voices of Carl Sagan and Kermit the Frog.
Oh, well, that...
Which I still say are remarkably similar.
That's a nice little treat that I'll get to enjoy later. So, I feel like I have to intervene. Like, I owe this song an intervention. I'm not sure why, but like how I feel like you should enjoy this song. I want you to enjoy. We're going to listen to it. Well, we are.
Oh, I don't know. It sounded like this was an intro.
Oh no. I mean, you could insert it.
This
here.
one goes out to all the people out there telling scary ghost stories. This one's for you, Jerome K Jerome.
I don't know if there's like a licensed version of this that we could use. Probably not.
Well, it apparently goes all the way back to 1704 or whatever. I think it's common, common whatever it is. What is it? Common law?
Oh no! Yeah. Yeah.
Public domain.
That's it. That's it. What he said. I just feel like you got to get past that line, and I feel like knowing that the authors, the writers intended, they were referencing.
Know that. I think we're spotting them that.
I mean, yeah. Well, what else? I mean, what else? Where else would that come from?
Well, I don't know. I just know that scary ghost stories is not a Christmas thing. Nobody wants to be scared on Christmas.
Goodness. So
people want tales of hope and tales of awesomeness. And that's what Christmas Carol ends up being, even though it started out kind of as a grim ghost story that wasn't scary.
Edward, so
the line, there is more.
Edward Pola was born
more gravy than the grave.
Was born Sidney Edward Polashek in New York. He was born of two Hungarian Jews in 1907.
Hungarians.
Yeah, he died in 1995.
Well, that's a far cry from Victorian England.
Well, but I mean, he was born of the era where that book would have been. He may have read that.
Maybe
book.
he was a Jerome fan.
He may have been a Jeremy fan. They may have served in the war together. No, he was too young for the war, for World War I.
They call his fandom the Jeromans.
Okay, he did. Oh, he taught creative writing in the 80s. Well, that was in the 80s. That was in the 80s. Hold on. Okay, so maybe that part though didn't. What I would like to know is what parts did he write, as opposed to what did George Weil write? I
always kind of wonder that when I see that two people wrote the lyrics. You know, I mean, you get the what? I don't.
Okay, so George Weil. So in addition to Edward Pola, George Weil is the other person who attributed to having written In Triple Time, this 1963 hit, right? It's the most wonderful time of the year. George Weil, who was born Bernard Weissman, so there you go.
I guess escaping the German thing.
No, I'm sure there was the German thing. It was escaping. Probably the.
Well, it depends on what year it was.
The blacklist.
Germans weren't terribly popular.
Well, it's probably a Jewish thing, unfortunately.
Well, that too, probably.
I mean, so many people felt forced to change their names. Anyway, he was an American orchestra leader and composer, best known. So he probably wrote the score.
So he's he's on the music.
Yeah. Best known, not for this particular
Most
song.
Wonderful Time of the Year, but
best known for having written the theme song to 1960s television sitcom Gilligan's Island.
Ha! It all comes back. The derivative universe.
Right?
It's all connected, man.
The guy who wrote the music for It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year he also wrote the theme song to Gilligan's Island.
Now that's cool.
And he is the grandfather of musician Adam Levy.
Oh, okay.
Who's a jazz guitarist.
I see. Now, did he write Love Boat?
No, I don't think so. I think Adam Levy is too young.
I'm sure that was a long shot, but I thought I'd try.
So, unfortunately, both of these guys have passed, so we can't ask them. I feel like in the NPR version of Accidentally Derivative, we would now have our producers flying out to Arizona to meet with his family.
I would
California,
totally,
or wherever they are.
If he was still alive, I would try to get in touch with him and ask him about that.
But I bet you could get a hold of a family, and it wouldn't be. I don't think it's this guy. I don't think it's George Weil as much as it would be.
No. He sounds like the musician.
Musicians are great. Musicians are great.
But I mean, he probably doesn't have insight into the words that the other guy wrote.
But it's probably this Edward Pola guy.
Yeah.
Who also wrote "I Said My Pajamas."
Interesting.
He wrote that. He also wrote that with George Weil. He did a lot of stuff with George Weil. He did. I didn't slip. I wasn't pushed. I fell.
Okay.
He wrote, "I love the way you say goodnight" with George Weil. He wrote, "I said my pajamas and put on my prayers" with George Weil. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
This guy does not have a thing for brevity in song titles.
No. This is fascinating. No.
You're gonna tell me he did Knight Rider?
No, he didn't. He didn't do Knight
that?
Rider. But I saw a reference to "All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth," but it's not. It doesn't reference him. It's just some other side reference. Anyway, I enjoyed the song. I don't care what you have. I have thought about that line before, thinking like it doesn't make any sense. But I don't get hung up on it. I just keep going.
Something in me just really reacts poorly to that line. And I don't think there's any other line in a Christmas song that goofs with me, except for the "We won't leave until we get some." That one also kind of rankles me a little bit, because like, hey, wait a minute, that's not the Christmas spirit. I mean, if I have some figgy pudding, I'll give you some, but Lord have mercy if you're gonna extort me for it. Merry Christmas.
I just tried to search for I didn't slip, I wasn't pushed, I fell. And despite
This guy.
Wikipedia saying is a popular song, I can't
Is
find it? I can't find it on iTunes at least.
Citation needed.
The recording by Doris Day was released by Columbia
that's-
Records. He even gives us the catalog number for Columbia Records.
Doris Day.
The first
I didn't know she
sign,
had,
the first
like,
sign that
songs.
it's not a popular song is when they have to list the catalog number in the article. It lasted 1 week on the bestseller chart in 1950 at number 28.
Clearly a popular song.
I don't, right? I mean, like, I don't.
That was only 1 week longer than my song.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And when I search Apple Music for it, I get nothing. So
and it's what I didn't trip. I didn't slip.
It's
I fell. Was that the original title of Luca by Suzanne Vega?
I live on the second floor. I didn't slip.
Walked into the door again. I'm not laughing at this. I'm not
bad.
laughing at this. This is a song.
Send all of your hate mail to Marcus Fowl,
Lou Mongello,
P.O. Box. I don't care about you. Well, I feel like we ran this thing into the ground. I don't know what else to say about.
I think that people have been listening to 45 minutes of Googling.
Yeah, apologies for that. It didn't. I mean, I feel like we found some interesting nuggets.
There was stuff that I wasn't expecting. I'll definitely concede that. And I want to know more about Jerome E. Jerome or whatever.
Are you at least satisfied in feeling like?
I am not. I still say that it has no place in that song. But I do know about Jerome K Jerome now. So there's that.
I mean, how many other songs
Jeremy.
and how many other things in this song do people do anymore? For example, like, when's the last time you saw kids jingle belling?
Not kids, I don't guess. No.
Or
There's golf carts that fly around over here that's got jingle bells all over them.
I mean, when
Jingle belling. So like retirees jingle belling. And,
no one goes caroling anymore.
There's particularly now, but yeah, that's. I mean, every now and then you get like a community theater group that'll get together and do a thing.
No one does the mistletoe thing anymore.
And I like how in the song it's mistletoeing. It's like it's a verb.
It's kissing.
It's like what? Well,
There's
yeah,
another way
but
of
I
saying
mean,
kissing.
one would think, but that
It doesn't-
They're talking about ghost stories. We don't know that that's exactly
In three time,
necessary.
in the whole 3 time thing, you can't get, like, kissing doesn't work. Mistletoeing does. There will be much mistletoeing.
Well, see, he already had to
See?
kind of cheat a little bit by putting much in there.
Well,
There'll be much mistletoe. There'll be kissing and stuff.
there'll be an overabundance of kissing. I don't think it, like, and cheeks will be
There'll
glistening.
be casuals. No.
And hearts will be glowing. Whatever.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, fine.
E.T., okay.
Yeah. I like the song. I don't care what you have to say. I think it is a weird line.
Do you have a Christmas carol, or not Christmas carol necessarily, but a Christmas song, a popular Christmas song that you would rather not ever hear again? ever.
Oh, that I'd rather not ever hear
See,
again?
I have whole songs that I don't like. This is the only one that there's a lyric that kind of just chaps me. But there are other Christmas songs that I'm like, I'm done with that song. Thank you.
I'm kind of done with Santa Baby. Like, she's a whiny little something.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like, really, like you just. I mean, that's one of the most materialistic Christmas songs ever, and very stereotypical, and so that makes it also a little
just done to death. I mean, and the whole, I want a ring, and I don't mean on the phone. I mean, it's like
I saw Mama Kissing Santa Claus. I think it's dumb.
Yeah, you're done with that one. Any of the ones that apparently bring questionable interpersonal relationships.
Yeah. I feel like the Christmas date rape song is probably time to not play that. But I love that scene in Elf so much.
Yeah, that is. I
feel like that's
which
the only
is
acceptable
also a
time.
Tad problematic when you think about it. He's in
a
shower. But,
he doesn't know any better. I mean,
but have you heard the sort of?
Can you imagine what he would smell like? By the way,
probably gingerbread.
He is human, though. He's human.
Yeah,
he's not
but I mean, I'm sure there's.
But like, you think those clothing
processes
have like
that he's
special?
been through.
You think the clothing has like special?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Moisture wicking and gingerbread scenting
Infusing.
properties.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to
tell you the weirdest friggin' Christmas song out there, and I usually am a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Of Paul McCartney.
Oh no, don't say it. The Wings one?
The Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas
I like
Time
that
is the
song.
weirdest Christmas
I like that song
ever. It's like
Da-da-da.
bloop, 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 bloop,
I don't remember the words, but simply
and it's just a
having
weird,
a wonderful Christmas
just
time.
doesn't-
I love that
it's
song.
not-
I feel happier just having hummed it.
festive about that song.
What?
That's a weird song.
No, it's.
And I'll tell you another one that's odd that I
What's wrong
like
with
the
you?
song
Oh,
as long
something's
as
wrong
I
with
don't
you.
listen to the lyrics. The song is fantastic unless I listen to the lyrics, and then it is no longer good. And that is the other Beatle, John Lennon's "So This Is Christmas."
Oh, I like that song.
I
too.
like the song.
It brings me down.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because the song it's a weird sort of separation between the actual topic of the song and this kind of the air of the song. You know what I mean? It's if you don't listen to the lyrics, it's kind of a so this is Christmas. It's very nice and kind of fun, and
until you realize,
and then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh wait, everyone's starving and dying.
Yeah.
And this is bad.
Yeah. Do they know it's Christmas time at all?
That's another one, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a
And
nice.
it's
It's a nice
probably
tune.
not
It's a great
because they're
tune.
talking about Africa, right? And
Well, they have Christians
and
in
Christianity
Africa.
isn't.
Yeah, they do.
Isn't the dominant religion down there? Is it?
Well, it depends on where you are.
So this is, or do they know it's Kwanzaa? Yes, they probably.
No,
know
there's
that.
there's plenty of Christians in Africa.
Are there?
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. I
Yeah.
know nothing about them.
I just don't know.
Religious
It just brings me down
statistics
because it makes me think about like all the things I haven't done to help anybody
Right. Exactly.
enough. Yeah.
It is. And so it's a very Catholic song in that regard. There's a lot of guilt.
The guilt. I know there's people who really hate the Mariah Carey. All for Christmas Is You, and I love that song because I think of.
I like the song. I totally understand that it is over the hell played.
Well, it's because it's so good. It's like
Yeah,
why
but then that has
why
kind
does
of a
chocolate
bad effect, doesn't it?
Why does chocolate appear in so many candy bars?
Yeah, I would say that there's a slight difference. Just a mild difference there.
I don't know that there's any other songs that Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. I love that as a kid, but I think it's
Yeah, I mean it's
dumb. They
I
don't
mean,
really
that's not
play that
even
often.
Dr. Demento corny. That's like just really Grandma got ran over, it's really,
That's not how it sounds.
it totally sounds like that. I nailed it.
No, it's
just
like
then.
he sings. It sounds like a grandpa singing it, or like a
Okay.
or no, because they say
So
sing it, grandpa.
It's Grandpa's grandmother?
No, it's It's
wow. She was old.
It's the guy. He's like I think a middle-aged guy. I think I feel like it's a middle-aged guy, but not Bob Dylan.
Hey, got run over by a reindeer. Coming home from our house while she was sticking it to the band.
I'm so sorry. I like Wonderful Christmas Time. I don't care what you have to say. I do.
I know you're, and that's hey man, you be you. That's how it should be. You listen to the Christmas carols you like. I'll listen to the Christmas carols I like.
Oh, you know what you don't get enough?
What is that? Ghost stories?
Yeah, that. Jerome.
You seriously do not get enough Jerome.
That Slade song, Merry Christmas. Wasn't it?
Was it Slade?
Wasn't it Slade? Yeah.
The Run Away people? Keep your hands off my power supply.
It's the whole. I think that's it. Let me see if I can play it. Let's see.
The singer for Slade and the singer for Quiet Riot are not the same person, but they sound exactly the same.
I don't know if you can hear that or not, but I don't want to get us any copyright strikes or something. You guys can look it up. It's
do
good.
not recognize that. Clearly, we don't get it enough because I don't know that I've heard that. And right. I was weirdly a Slade fan in the 80s because I loved that song Run Away, and I got the album, and I was like, okay, this album's actually pretty cool. And this dude has a really strong voice.
Oh, you know what else? Oh, this is going to sound terrible.
Is there a Scorpions Christmas song that we should be listening to?
I'm kind of done with Feliz Navidad.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I don't mind hearing it every once in a while, but that's another one of those, they play it a lot, and really,
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, is that over, saturation is a real bad thing. Because I was thinking about this the other day, is that because I tried to put together a Christmas time, Spotify playlist that I could just say, hey,
play me some
Lady
Christmas.
in the Tube, play this thing. Because I didn't want, you say, hey, play Christmas music, and there's going to be some kind of crazy One Direction Christmas song in there or some crap. And it's like, okay, none of that. I just want approved by me Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
And I put what I thought was a good bit of music in there. Harry Connick has come out with a couple of different Christmas albums. There's some good stuff there. There's a Bare Naked Ladies Christmas album that's good. And I put in all the sort of standards, right? You got the why can't I think of his name? The guy.
Bing Crosby?
Bing Crosby, thank you. Stuff from him, and there's some Frank Sinatra stuff, and then that I tell you, there's another one that's the guy. I always think about him because they do a caricature of him on Warner Brothers cartoons, and that's all he does. And so that's what I associate him with. But I tell you another one that gets played too much, and I've had to remove it from our Christmas time playlist because it gets played so damn much, and that's the Bruce Springsteen.
God, I hate that song. I thought it was just
Don't
me.
Ya? I used to, kind of hey, Christmas time, but now I'm I'm tired of it. You've been practicing real hard. Oh God, shut up!
Stop. Let's practice turning this off.
Yeah.
You better watch out. You better not.
Yeah, I mean.
Really, dude? Why?
And it's clearly in the middle of some
speaking of that song,
show.
The other version of it, I can take one season and that's it.
The Jackson 5 version?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
I really do like Santa. I really do think it's shut up, kid.
Yes, if it was just a song, that would give it a little more legs.
But don't talk about it,
I don't want to hear about the...
Oh, I'm so tired of it. Let Michael speak and that's it.
Yeah.
Just let Michael sing. That's it. That's it.
Bad.
Yeah. So, two versions of that song I'm not real thrilled with, and we've just lost everybody. We've lost everyone. Oh, you know what I don't get enough of though? The Hawaiian Christmas songs
Mele Kalikimaka,
and also the other Christmas. Oh, come on! It's the Island Christmas. No, Christmas Island. Christmas Island.
I'm sure I've heard it, but I'm not recognizing it from Christmas Island.
Come on. I think it's called Christmas Island. I've heard it.
It's called Christmas Island.
I think.
Okay.
Christmas.
Well, there's an Easter Island, so that makes sense. Does this have the other side? It's like it's just the legs sticking out.
I think. No, wait, hold on. I think it's called Christmas Island. No, wait, but this is Jimmy. No, this can't be it. This
Jimmy
is
Fallon. Oh,
Is
see
this
that
it?
we get a little too much of that at Christmas time
this
too.
it?
Is Jimmy Fallon, and then the rest of the year as well.
No, I don't think this is it either. This is way too old for it to be. That can't. Oh, this is it. This is it.
How'd you like to spend a holiday away across the sea?
Okay,
Never-
yeah,
but
that
there's
is
like
sounding familiar. Yeah,
But then
I don't hear it much though. I mean, to your point, I don't know that I hear it very often at all.
yeah, I'm trying to find. This is not the version that I like. There's like the one.
Well, that sounds like some seriously original 40s, 50s.
Yeah, there's a better one
Goodness
that
there.
sounds like it's actually more like Hawaiian-y.
Mm.
Yeah,
Love steel guitar.
but I don't know which version that is. If someone can let us know, that'd be great.
And I mean, everybody and their dog has commented on this, but at what point did favorite things become a Christmas song? These are a few of my favorite things. It's not
Raindrops
a Christmas song.
on roses, whiskers on kittens.
Whiskers and kittens, yeah.
What's
And,
it- wait,
and you're
what?
saying this
Raindrops on
because
roses,
the
whiskers and-
storm is scaring people.
What's this? What's the next
Rain
thing?
and
Wait, raindrops on roses, whiskers and kittens. Mm-hmm.
Sunlight and moonbeams or something?
Nah. Brown paper packages tied up with string. I think that might be it.
Maybe that why people. Oh, Merry Christmas!
These are a few of my favorite things. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. But when did Sound of Music become a
that ain't
Christmas
it.
movie? Because it is, according
It
to
ain't.
Disney Plus.
Well, I think because of that song. That song became a Christmas song, and so whatever that. I mean, because most of that musical does not take place during Christmas. Just the one where the Nazi is singing the love song. That's the only one. the only
Edelweiss?
part that
Edelweiss? Yeah.
No, the
Oh.
you are 14. I am 36.
that's
you know,
not
whatever
Christmas.
it is that he
No,
sings.
that's not Christmas. But isn't Edelweiss?
But it's
isn't
snowing outside and stuff.
Isn't Edelweiss?
Yeah, Edelweiss. Well, I don't know. Edelweiss.
Isn't that a Christmas song?
No, because it's a flower. Edelweiss
you're
is a
right.
flower, and
Maybe it's a Christmas flower. I don't know. God, don't get me
It's not a
searching again.
Christmas flower. That's a poinsettia.
I don't want to have.
Poinsettia.
I have to ask. You're gonna have to ask
Red.
Carlos because this is one of his favorite
Big red.
movies,
Oh,
and I
is
think
it?
he considers it a Christmas movie. So
Well, I mean, if you watch the
Have to
movie
take
a
it
lot
up
at
with him.
Christmas, I guess for you it is. But there are scenes that take place in summer. I think.
what about? How do you feel about
Certainly
Last
spring.
Christmas by Wham?
I like Last Christmas.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't have anything really to do with it's just like, somebody broke his heart and it happened to be Christmas. I mean, there's not a whole lot of like Christmas content there, but it's fun to hear at Christmas time. I like it a lot.
And I don't know that I can think of any other songs that I would hate. I'm sure there's
Yeah.
some. Ask me in a week.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause
See, that's
We're
I'll
coming
ask you,
into that season where
if we
it's
record
inescapable.
like next week, right close to Christmas, then I can hit you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What's making you claw your hair out?
I mean, I can tell you certain artists that I don't need to sing. Like I don't need to hear Michael Bublé sing
Christmas
anything
or not?
Christmassy.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like what's his name? Josh. Is it?
Just
No,
I can't think of any Joshes right now. Why is that?
I don't know. Anything Frank
trying to come
Sinatra
up with
sings
even-
is great. Any of the Bing Crosby
Oh, yeah.
stuff's great.
Yeah.
But get rid of Michael Bublé.
I like all the
anything
old
that King
standard
Cole sings
guys,
is
you know.
fantastic.
Dean Martin.
Yeah, those are all great.
Yeah.
The Carpenters, right? Those are great.
Yeah.
I don't really need to hear Kelly Clarkson sing anything about Christmas,
Mm,
but most of her stuff's about bringing me down anyway. I don't need to hear Coldplay do Christmas.
Is it Coldplay Christmas?
There's lots of Coldplay stuff.
Oh, man.
Burl Ives, for example, I could listen to Burl Ives all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but Yeah, I think
there's a band called Reliant K that is
I know about Reliant
very
K.
sort of a very light kind of punky kind of thing. I hesitate to call it punk because anybody that likes punk music at all has just decided that I need to die. But but they have that kind of fast pace kind of thing, and they have a Christmas song or a Christmas album actually, and there's a lot of really good stuff on there.
Really?
12 Days of Christmas is actually pretty good.
Oh, the Cheech and Chong 12 Days of Christmas was
that's
good.
funny. Yeah.
Oh, the guys from the North, the Great White North.
Yeah, Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Yes.
And a beer.
It's fantastic.
In a tree.
Yeah. So I think for the 6 people, or maybe no, I'm sorry, that's being ambitious. For the
new listeners
for
gone
the
yet?
2 people still listening, thank you for enduring this Wikipedia fest.
But we do not apologize for it.
I mean, this is what we would do if we were sitting together at Dahlia Lounge having
That was the point.
Drink,
that was the point of the show.
We'd be talking about. We'd be on our phones the whole time, like, wait, what about this song? Except it'd be a lot more like playing songs to each other, which we can't do through this medium because we get like in trouble. So if hopefully we've inspired you to maybe look up some of these songs and books,
and to delete some.
you may have to go. You may have to go to the Library of Congress to pick up a couple of the books that we mentioned in the songs,
and learn Middle English.
Yeah.
Ye old ghost stories.
To tell after supper.
Interesting bit of trivia. Speaking of ye old, that does not say ye old. It says the old, because that thing that looks like a Y
was
actually a letter called thorn. That represents the TH
just making that
sound.
You're just making it up now.
It comes from the rune, I believe. And so it's the old, not ye old. So there you go. I had to come up with some kind of weird, useless trivia for this episode because I hadn't done it yet.
Oh yeah, no, we've
just
all
railed
been,
against.
had bated breath waiting for it.
what insufferable jerk kind of crap is he going to come up with this time? Well, let me tell you. Now the E at the end of old, no help. For me
no
on
good.
That one. I'm sure the French have something to do with it.
They have something to do with everything.
If it's wasted letters, that
The next episode of Accidentally Derivative, everything we can blame on the French, and then some.
We.